Hey guys, and welcome to my Hero Souls farming guide for Click Your Heroes. This guide revolves around using a calculator made from a user on Reddit. You can see the URL in the top. I will also have it linked in the description below. So basically, to use this calculator, what you need to do is you have to have Click Your Heroes open. Go to the top right, you can go to the wrench, click save. When you save your game, it copies it to your clipboard. So once you have saved your game, come over to the web page, paste it in, import your file, and that is how you start the calculator off. As you can tell up top, there's a readme. Make sure to read that before you get started with the calculator. It does tell you some information about the calculator and some of the downsides to it, but for the most part, there is no downside to it. But having read that and then importing your save file, we can get into the options. First one is include souls gained after Ascension. This will just, if you look over here, it says ascend for 20. That means I'm going to get 20 after I ascend. It'll calculate that into its calculations when you press update. I always suggest having it ticked. This is all default, so it's automatically defaulted to being checked anyways. Next one is ancient increments. That means so the one you see here, it means if we go down here and we get the new ancient, it's gonna base it off of this value. So when I come down here and when I'm going to buy a new ancient, it thinks I'm only going to buy one soul or one level when I buy him. So when I buy him, it's already done calculating. If I put 5, it's going to assume that I'm going to buy 5 levels right off the bat, and that's where you'll get this value here. I'll go over more about it when we get down here, but that's basically what that is. Setup time is how long it takes you to set up a run. So basically, you know, when you hit ascend, the entire time it takes you from the time you click ascend till you actually start playing the game is this setup time. So that means, you know, you're most likely going to be using this calculator every single time you ascend. So the setup time would be, you know, how long it takes you to click save, copy your file, import it here, and pressing update. That's basically the setup time. It's defaulted to a minute. I suggest leaving it to a minute unless you're an advanced user and you want to get exact values, but a minute is perfect. That's usually how long it takes to set up a run. So I suggest leaving that as well. AFK interval, it's defaulted to 0. That means how much time you AFK while you play. So if you're not paying attention 100%, you might want to set it to like 10 seconds. If it takes you 10 seconds to look at your next screen and realize there's a ruby or a clickable on the ground, that's basically what this is for. It is for the clickables. So, you know, this is basically your reaction time to clicking on a clickable. So yeah, that would be your own personal value. Say you're watching a movie and on your screen you're playing Clicker Heroes. That's, you know, I've already said it. That's basically it. Extended run, that's how much percentage you want to go over the optimal level just for the sake of playing the game longer. I suggest leaving this at 0 because raising the value will only lower your efficiency. As you can tell, if I just go 10%, just 10%, click update, Hero Souls went from 1,122 to 1,022. So that's correct, right? 1,022 to 1,001. Yeah, so you lose 100 Hero Souls per hour just by extending your run by 10%. So I suggest leaving this at 0. This is for advanced users again, but no matter what, you're just going to lose efficiency. So I never ever recommend using that. But it is there as an option if you do like playing more than it tells you. Expected clickables per hour. Exactly what it says, how many clickables you expect to get per hour. Leave 1 guild on transitional heroes. I don't know too much about this because I don't know what a transitional hero is, and I'm not in the point in the game where guilds are worth transitioning and re-guilding. So I don't know too much about this, but basically it's going to leave 1 guild when you transfer all of your guilds over to a certain hero to buff him up. It'll leave 1 guild on the transitional hero, which again, I don't know what hero that is, but yes, that is an option. Use Energized Dark Ritual. I always suggest clicking this because once I click it, you can see it says 1,122. Update it, 1,179. It is always efficient to do this, and this is basically meaning you're going to use Energize and the Dark Ritual combo at least once per run, which you can only do 1 per run anyways, if you're, you know, using this calculator. So that's why it doesn't have a certain value that you can set, like 2 per run or 3 per run, because you can only use 1 per run. Anyways, since Dark Ritual is an 8-hour cooldown. So basically just leave this checked. Always, even if you're an idle build, just have it checked, because it does improve your efficiency, even if you're idle. As you can see, I have idle mode checked, and it increased it. And this is basically what idle mode is. You're either active or idle. If you're active, you can input how many times you use your cooldown rotations in a run. but I'm idle, so I don't have to worry about any of that. And this is the most important box right here, is the results box. So results, I can get 1,179 souls per hour by doing this optimal zone. So my optimal zone to ascend at is 320. That means right when I beat, remember, beat level 320, beat the boss, and buy all my hero levels, I should ascend. It's going to take me 13 minutes 1 second with the Energized Arc Ritual combo ticked, and I will gain 256 souls per run, which will take 13 minutes, which calculates into the souls per hour. Expected rubies is basically just the value, because it's based on the quick ascension, so it costs 50 rubies to do a quick ascension, and if you're expecting 5 clickables per hour, I'm getting 0.27 worth of 1 soul based on quick ascension, because again, that is worth 256 souls basically. Improvement over current, I'll go over in a second because I have to do over with the right side. Souls spent on ancient levels is basically how many souls you've spent already. And relic ooze zone. Now this is a pretty cool feature. It literally tells you no matter what relic ooze is going to spawn. So you can see over here, if I bring this full screen, I'm at level 170. Watch when I go to 171. Alright, let's just go on. So there you go. There's a relic ooze. It was dead accurate. I haven't got to this zone yet, and it was dead accurate. So that's a pretty cool feature. It'll literally tell you 100% of the time when the relic ooze is going to spawn, and that also calculates into your optimal level, because you do want to get at least 1 relic ooze per run, and the optimal level will make sure it's not too high of a level based on your hero souls, because it can go, again, I think 40% from your highest level. So if my highest level is 320, it could spawn up to like 280 or something like that. So everything in this is like calculated into each other, and it's perfect. I've always followed it to a T, and it's never been inaccurate. So moving on to the new ancients, there is a disclaimer here, but basically the general idea of it is this is in order of the most efficient souls ancients to buy first. So for me, the next ancient is telling me to buy is Atman for 834 souls, but right now currently it's going to be a negative 4% increase, which is basically a decrease in efficiency. So right now it's telling me don't buy any ancients. You're good with the ancients you have right now. You wait until this is a positive value. That means buy that ancient only if it's a positive value. Moving on to the right, this is your Ancients tab. There's a bunch of tabs, so we'll be going over them. The first section in your Ancients tab is how many hero souls you currently have and how many you will get after an Ascension. And then also it lists all your Ancient levels, and on the right is what it wants you to level up. So once I ascend, it wants me to buy 2 Dora Ancient levels, 2 Mammon, 3 Mimsy, 7 Scialtis, and 8 Solomon, and that is what is going to give me this 19% increase in efficiency. So, once I ascend and I buy all these, I'll be gaining 19% more hero souls per hour. As like a general idea. It's not exactly like that, but that's basically it, and I follow this to a T. I recommend that you follow this, even if it seems like it's wrong. I would recommend following it because it'll mess up the calculator if you don't follow it. There's a disclaimer up here that is going to leave gold ancients at a lower level because they're less valuable to this calculator. So the gold ancients, you could do that based on your own values, but for me, even, Mammon is telling me to increase, even if he's a low level at 16 at my point in the game, I'm following it. It still levels them up, as you can tell. The next 2 it wants me to level up are the 2 gold ones that I have. So it still levels them up, just maybe not at the highest level to be the most efficient, but I still follow it. Next is the Gilds tab. This is going to tell you your efficiency on throwing all of your guilds onto the Masked Samurai, which is the most efficient according to the Reddit post that this calculator is from. So for me, if I take all my guilds off of all of my ancients and I spend the 80 hero souls per guild, or per re-guild, I'm going to lose 30% efficiency. So for me, it's telling me I'm fine. Don't touch any of your guilds. Leave them all on the characters you have right now. So for me, this is, I'm good where I'm at. But if you had a positive increase, that means take your hero guilds off of your heroes and throw them all into Masked Samurai. Moving on, I don't know if that's 100% because, again, I'm not at that point in the game yet, but that's basically what I get from reading the information it gives you from up here. Relics is a pretty cool tab. You really, really, really want to pay attention to this tab if you want to know what relics to use. So if we go back in game, now that I have my new relic, as you can see, go back in game, save again. You know, copy it to your clipboard and all that, and might as well just save the game, right? And then you click update. It is now going to give you, or import, not update. It is going to now give you the new relic that we have. As you can see, 0.5% chance to get 10% gold. That is the one that is showing right here, and this is the base value. Everything above it will be based on this, or the new relic that you receive. So for me, the base value again is 0% because that is the new relic, and everything has to be based off of the new relic because you're seeing if it is better than what you already have. For me, as you can see, everything is a percentage increase. If it was a percentage decrease, this would still be 0, and say this is like 0 or negative 0.33%. That means I need to swap them out and salvage the hand ramps of freedom, because the Cloudstone necklace would be better. But for me, everything is positive, meaning I don't have to replace anything, and I could go in game and salvage this one for its forge cores, and I'm good. All mine are still better than this new one. Next up is other. You shouldn't ever have to worry about this because you're importing your save, so never really look at this because you should never be inputting values of your own anyways. Leveling is the point in which you get Frostleaf to level 75, and you buy the upgrades for every single hero. So, you know, you can see the values. You need to be 100 for Tree Beast, 125 for Ivan, 75 for Brittany, so on and so forth. You also need to be 100 for the Wandering Fisherman. I forgot to get him. I missed him. But you can see all the values here. These are the levels you need to get the highest upgrade for them. And once you buy all of the upgrades, you know, you just click this button to buy them all, and you have all of them to 75 plus. It'll tell you what to level up next. So for me, Frostleaf, it wants me to get level 92 next for Frostleaf. So what I would do is I would go to 92. I went 10 over, but, you know, whatever. That's basically, you know, I follow this to a T because this is, you know, it's computerly calculated to an exact value of what the most efficient hero level you need to get next. And this is going to be the biggest DPS increase you can follow. If you need help on before this point, before you can hit Frostleaf to level 75, I do have a video on how to go from the beginning of the game to Frostleaf level 75, the most efficient way, and the highest DPS possible. So I will link that in the top right as well as at the end of this video as well. But this is basically the aftermath and what you should follow after that video. And the last one is simulation. This is basically some numbers that I don't really pay attention to because it's just how it simulates everything. And that's basically it. If you have questions on anything about this calculator, just ask me in the comments below. It'll be linked in the description below, and you can also see the URL in the top. But that is pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a like. But besides that, I will